We've got another email question that came in. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Can I delay foreclosure, and for how long? I have renters in the house that is being foreclosed on. I presume it's a rental property. Do I have to kick them out as soon as the foreclosure action begins? And this is Greg. So now we're going to talk about foreclosure of a non-homestead property, a rental property, and you got a renter in there. So tell us how that works, and typically what's in the documents for a rental property.
Well, so again, it's still considered a residential loan, and a lot of the regulations do apply, but in some instances, whenever you have a renter, when it's not your primary residence, some of the guidelines are not as helpful. But the answer to the question is, can I delay a foreclosure and how long? I mean, you delay that foreclosure by actually having a conversation with that mortgage servicer and talking about why you're behind and finding out what are my options. Again, don't stick your head in the sand, talk to the servicer. That's the path that you need to go down. No, you don't have to kick the renters out immediately, because if you're in Florida, of course, there has to be a lawsuit, and you've got to go through that process. If you're in Alabama, you got a lot shorter time. But no, you do not have to kick them out. At some point, a judge is going to make that decision.
Right, at some point in the future. And so, Greg, what you need to do is you need to collect those rents as long as possible, try to pay off or pay down, you get out of that foreclosure issue. Because if you took out the loan in the state of Florida, most times there's going to be an assignment of rents provision in there. And so once the service provider or the mortgage holder files that lawsuit, one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to ask the judge then to take that money from your renters to pay it into court, to pay on your foreclosure under the assignment of rents provision. So again, like Rhonda said, talk with your service provider, talk with your mortgage company, try to keep things copacetic, try to work things out, collect the money, pay the money, do the best you can to try to keep this afloat and prevent it from going into foreclosure, because once it goes into foreclosure, you lose control. Like, you got a judge that's going to be involved. Right. You may have a magistrate that's involved, depending on the nature of the case. Either way, you're losing control of it the moment it goes into foreclosure, and you don't want to do that.